To the untrained eye, it's just dirt. But you know, and I know, it's manure, it's compost, it's sand, it's good stuff full of life that we're gonna make into compost for our garden. Hey y'all, welcome to Hazelbell Farm. I've gotten a lot of questions about where have you been? Well, I'm here, we're here. We've just been busy, quite honestly. It takes a lot to video anything. So we've had a couple of chicken butcher days. I'm working on some pickles. Been working on getting a plant sale organized. But I do want to share some things with you guys. It's just busy. I'm just busy, to be quite honest. But I'm trying to set aside the time for editing and bring you guys along to what we have going on. So right now, I'm out in the garden. I'm just watering a little bit. It's midday. It's not a good time to water. So the best time to water your garden is gonna be in the mornings before the sun is fully up overhead. Second best time is gonna be evenings. It's midday here. It's not the best time to water, but I have some green bean seeds in the ground and I don't want them to get completely dried out before I see them sprout, germinate. So I'm just gonna make sure the ground where they are is watered well. And it's a hot day, and now is the time that I have to do it. So I could have done it this morning, but I completely forgot about it. One of the things that I've been working on a little more heavily lately than usual is the podcast that I participate in with Jenny from the Gramstead. And that is American Farmsteaders podcast. We've been working on that today, actually. And we have an upcoming episode on the topic of thinning and pruning the things out of your life, out of your homestead, specifically out of your homestead, that don't fit anymore or are wasting your time and your energy, and decluttering, all of those kinds of things. And I am working on implementing some of those tips now so that my super busy springtime goes a little bit easier. This is my strawberry guava tree that I thought was completely dead, but look, has some leaves here, some leaves here. See if it'll focus for you. I really thought it was dead. I've been coming around and bending the ends of the stems a little bit to see if they'll break, and they weren't. So I'm excited about this. I hope it comes back well. So that is a strawberry guava. It seems to be a little more frost tender. This is a pineapple guava I got from my friend Jenny. This is propagated off of her tree. She gave me several clippings, and this was the one that took. This one obviously didn't. No roots or anything came of that. But this one looks great, and it stayed outside through all of our coldest weather this year. I have it sitting here because this is right where I'm going to plant it. It feels a little bit dry. But I'm going to get it planted today, so it'll get plenty of water. Pro tip in the garden: butternut squash is one of the things that you can save seed from a store-bought squash, and you should be able to have success planting it out in your garden. This is one from a squash that I purchased last fall. Saved the seeds out of, dried them, and we are going to have a lot of butternut squash here in the garden this year. I didn't grow them last year, so I didn't have extra seeds. And going through a seed purge where I have a lot of old stuff that I don't think is going to make it, specifically things like squash and peppers. A lot of my peppers didn't germinate this year, but check these out. But these did really great. These are Pippin's honey bell peppers, and I'm so excited about them because they're so good. I can't wait to eat these. I think I'm going to get these put into a bed pretty soon. A lot of cucumbers came up overnight too. So I wasn't sure about this seed, so I planted 2 in each pot, and it's the Market More cucumber. These seeds were a little bit older, and I actually have quite a few pots with 2 plants coming up. So, and then I also did Boston pickling cucumbers. Those were good new seeds, I think. So those just have 1. This guy's not up yet. And occasionally that happens. I actually thought that my yellow squash didn't have good germination, and it just took longer than I expected. And then every single one of them came up except one, and that was this guy. And then he came up. So I had 100% germination on my yellow squash. It's a straight neck variety. Those are all squashes for sale, but I'm gonna plant some here today as well. Okay, if you don't have a stirrup hoe or a scuffle hoe, get yourself one. It makes really quick work of weeding. I've got this pile of weeds. I'm gonna go throw my compost. Look what I found. Mickey Mouse. Hi. Come here, baby. Nope, she's hunting, which is great. So that stirrup hoe works best if the ground is dry. Otherwise, if you're gonna leave a lot of the green down, the weeds tend to just reroot themselves. So I got a bunch pulled out. Took me like less than a minute to get this 8x4 bed weeded. I'm gonna wet the ground and throw a couple of seeds Okay, those are the first squash I'm planting for myself, unless some of my plant sales stuff doesn't sell. There's sheep poop in my garden. It's not a good sign. Hey guys, it's the next day. I got a little bit interrupted yesterday abruptly. So it's the next day and I'm back here out in the garden, and look at what one day's difference makes. Yesterday I was filming in the afternoon. This is the morning of the next day. Check this out. I just spotted my first little green beans sprouting up. Little happy birthday to the green beans. A difference a day makes. This is a grapevine. This is the first growth I've seen. I did not have this yesterday, so that's exciting. I expect maybe tomorrow this little nodule will be grown a little bit. Let's check the other one. Okay, there we go. Little growth right there. These are the Catawba. Here is the spelling of that. Catawba grapes. They are supposed to be a seedless white grape. I have not grown them before. I have not intentionally grown grapes before. We've only had our wild muscadines. A difference a day makes on these little seed starts. Remember those butternuts I showed you? So the ones we had are a little bit coming up a little bit more, and we have new ones all coming up here, here, yay! We also have some cantaloupes that started to come up. There's one in this cell. That's a cantaloupe. There's a new little baby coming up right there. And the squash are pretty much all getting their true leaves now, where yesterday they weren't. We have lots more cucumbers that came up overnight. So that's exciting. These Roma tomatoes have more true leaves. I think it's safe to say we have officially hit spring here in Northeast Florida. It's February 23rd. We aren't going to be getting any more freezes. We always have the chance of frost through the middle of March, but I don't see it happening this year. I came to check these potatoes. Sometimes these are the oldest potatoes that have grown, and sometimes they'll start to break the surface of the ground. So I was just kind of pulling them back to make sure that's not happening. And I found this wild purslane seeding itself in my bed. Now, wild purslane is edible. A lot of people plant it on purpose in their gardens. We do not. It's everywhere around here. If I wanted to eat it, I could just go find it. And we don't generally eat it. I have plenty of other greens and like Malabar spinach and that kind of stuff. So we'll stick with that stuff. The purslane will take over a bed. Look at this pretty peach. This is a new tree. It's right here in the middle of my garden, and the idea is that I will see it as it grows between the center aisle here. It's a little bit of garden design happening on purpose. So when I'm on the end sitting in my swing and looking out, I'll see this beautiful peach tree grown up in the middle. All right, so this is where I had my chicks. This is where I was brooding chicks in the shed. And you can see where the layers got big enough to let themselves out. And they really didn't get out. They just wanted to perch up here on the edges of this old cooler. And then I had another bin they were in here just to roost at night. So I'm actually going to use this. This has a bunch of litter in it. It's going to be my future worm bin. But in the meantime, I'm going to start some compost in here and see if I can get a small batch of homegrown compost going and help show you how to do that. Okay, I'm back. Same second day, but it's Florida and winter is over, like I said. And apparently we are already into the time to change our clothes multiple times a day. So it got hot today. I was unloading feed and did some gardening and just got really, really hot. So anyways, I want to share with you guys something that I'm working on. All right, so this is my big compost pile. It's gonna take a long time for it to break down, and I'm adding to it. It's a long process project. So here's my little one. And this old cooler. The last time we actually put something in here, Eric said no more. It's not holding its temperature, it's leaky. So he was gonna throw it away, and I confiscated it. I said it has to be mine, because I want it to be my worm bin. The reason I wanted to use a cooler is because it will hold the temperature better. And you know, it gets so hot here in the summertime, and I've been afraid to do a worm bin for that reason. I've been afraid that I'll just lose them in the heat, and I think a cooler will be good. So I have to go find the lid. I think it's on my back porch, but for now, let's see if I can show you what I have in there. Okay, so to start with, I had some baby chicks I was brooding in here. So their bedding is on the bottom with some wood chips and their manure. Then I took some chicken litter out of the coop. Threw a couple of green weeds I just pulled on my way out. So there's lots of green in there. It needs some moisture and it needs some brown. Thankfully, right where I am, there's plenty of oak leaves that have dropped off of this big tree. So I'm gonna try to rake some up and scoop them in. It's like a third of the way full. I want to fill it like 3/4 of the way and see what happens. I found all this green also. This is a cabbage from last year that oddly enough over summered, and then it hasn't headed up in winter again. So it just keeps growing these big green leaves. I usually just pick some off and give them to cows over the fence, but I'm gonna chop these up and use them as compost. Put these bigger stems in this big pile. coming. Oof, covered with aphids. Do y'all see that? So a lot of the plant is still over there. It's become a trap crop apparently for the aphids, so that's good. One of the things you want to keep in mind when you're building a compost pile is that you want diversity. So as many different greens and browns as you can squeeze in there is good. Okay, I moved this over where my hose can reach because right now my water hose doesn't reach that far. I need a new hose, but you know, needs and wants, really, I mean, I can get by with what I have. So I just moved this over. So I've got the green, I watered everything. I'm gonna add some shredded cardboard. This would be really nice to run through a shredder. I don't have one. I just put my arms on gross poop. Next is a green. It's gonna be kitchen scrap. So I have this, this was, well, I think it holds a gallon of ice cream. And we like to reuse these when we do buy ice cream. And so this has been holding my kitchen scraps to bring out for composting. So I'm gonna put this in next. It has eggshells, it has tea bags, it has coffee grounds, it has potato peels, anything out of the kitchen. So strawberry tops. Done. So I need more green next. I think I'm gonna crack open this pile and see what's in the middle. It's so tight. Ooh, it's hot. So the stuff that was in there, I'm gonna wet that down too. The stuff that was in there was grass and old plants out of the garden and kitchen scraps and just a lot of bulk stuff. I also added some pig manure and some chicken manure, and the other bin that I had two bins that had a lot of that I was breeding chicks in, had a lot of manure and wood shavings, so that was all in there. I don't see any sign of wood shavings in there. It doesn't smell at all. I think that's a good sign. Almost there. Okay, I think I want Oscar. It's cracking me up. He's over here. This is my new turkey. Usually I let the turkeys out, or I let all the chickens out, and the turkeys are living in there and until I get the chickens moved out permanently on pasture. And so I just left the coop door open like I do. Normally the turkeys don't get out because they're too fat to get up over the ledge, but they must have figured it out today. I wonder if the other one's out. I haven't seen him. So, but he's made his way over. He keeps gobbling at me. You want to hear my turkey call? Here we go. Oscar. Pretty boy. Oh, he's so pretty. He's really not. He looks pretty shaggy. He looks rough. Oscar came from a friend's little small farm homestead, who had a couple too many male turkeys. So he looks a little beat up, but he is growing some new feathers, and you can see on his wing right there. Gobble, 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 gobble. No? Gobble, 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 gobble. He's showing off for me though. He's trying to show me how beautiful that boy is. He's pretty fun. So I was just making my way over to the chicken coop, and there's a lot of feathers out here. This is not good. This is why we really can't just free range where we live. I don't see Any sign of a dead chicken, but a hawk or an eagle must have made its way off with a chicken today. Man, I hate that. So there you have it. Why don't we free range our chickens all the time? That's why. That stinks. Especially as I'm looking to get my egg business really going. I haven't really focused on that in the past. My main sales are beef, pork, chicken, and milk, and wanted to add eggs this year, so that stinks. That really stinks. There's the other turkey. He's a pretty boy. He must not have figured it out. Hey, buddy. Gobble, 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 gobble. So you can see these were some seed starts from last fall, and it's just kind of been sitting in here. This looks like maybe some broccoli or cauliflower or some kind of brassica growing. So I'm gonna grab some of this to add, and it'll work like let's see, that's a tomato. That's a tomato or an eggplant. I don't know yet. We'll let it live. This is gonna act like a compost starter. So you might find in your big box store a bag of compost starter material. It's pretty expensive for just a little bit, and it basically is supposed to help you inoculate your compost pile. You don't need that. You can use any bit of compost. Really, you just need some good bacteria to get working. You're gonna find that naturally on the materials that you gather on your plants. There's good natural yeast and bacteria. The manure, obviously, so you really don't need that. You can buy it if you want, but I'm going to use some of that stuff back there, and that's going to help speed up the process of starting. I have another friend, Mary. To the untrained eye, it's just dirt, but you know and I know it's manure, it's compost, it's sand, it's good stuff full of life that we're going to make into compost for our garden. All right, just a little bit of water. I'm gonna go find the lid to put on the top. And that's gonna be it for compost today. I do have to close that up. Got to pile that back up, close it up. Okay, I think that is good. So that's gonna be it for me today. I'm gonna call it quits. I need to get cleaned up and start on supper for my people, and get those Philly cheesesteak sandwiches made with our own meat, and I wish I could say our own cheese, but we're not in milk, and I have burned through all of our cheese, unless I happen to find some in a freezer somewhere, but I don't think so. So buying some dairy products, and I hate that, but that's just the way it goes with the seasons. So that's gonna be it. Thanks for joining us. I will hopefully talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.